G'day, Geoff here from Geoff's Out and About on another one of these fantastic walks, and I found some interesting little bits of rock here. But before I tell you about these, a little bit of history here, just to let you know where we are. We're about an hour and a half from Melbourne, big capital city southeast of Australia, on a magnificent walk in the blue sky, the beautiful sea at the background. We've been on a few of these and there's so many of them. I can keep going on about how great they are, but they really are fantastic. Get a chance, come down here. But this one's got a bit of history where we're very near a little settlement site called Sorrento. Now, for people from Melbourne, this is a fairly major seaside resort. During summer it gets very busy, but you can still find these places that there's not many people around. But as I say, this one's got a bit of history, and if I come over here, it actually dates back from the Aboriginals that were here about 40,000 years ago. And that's a long, long time, as you know. And they'd live in these sorts of areas, and they'd come into this sort of area, and they would have been down the beach picking up all these little shells, cockle shells, and they'd bring them all up here, and they'd create a little fire and open them all up and sit around eating them. What a fantastic place to do that. Can you imagine 40,000 years ago sitting here doing that? Absolutely amazing. And they'd sit here with their fire and look out to the sea and ponder, and I reckon it wouldn't have been a bad life. But it's interesting that they were here 40,000 years ago. To put that into perspective, the first settlement site was created here down this area in 1803, about 5 kilometres from where we are now, a very short walk, called Sullivan's Bay. Some of the first ships landed there. They put up their tents and created a little settlement. But very soon they needed to obviously expand from there and create something that was a little bit more permanent, they could live in. But they were living, as you know, on a beach place full of sand. So what can you build with sand? Well, you can't build anything. So they had to use their brains. They had to work out what was around here that could help them. And that's what I found over here. These small rocks are the remembrance of what we called limestone. So if the Aboriginals were here 40,000 years ago, we were here 200 years ago, which is a speck. These were created tens and tens of millions of years ago at the bottom of the ocean. They're the results of fish and corals dying, decaying and falling to the bottom of the ocean, then more sand and sediment filling them up, pushing them into the Earth's crust and putting them under very high temperatures and very high pressures. What happens when you do that? The skeletons are full of calcium, they mix with other chemicals and form what's called CaCO3 or calcium carbonate. We know it today in the common language as limestone, and that's what a lot of the early buildings were built around here. We moved from building with that to building with this. It's still not super hard, but it's certainly hard enough to cut and to shape and to start building buildings. And that's what a lot of the buildings around here are built with today. And it's fascinating to walk around. But you really don't need to know all of this. This place is an hour and a half from Melbourne. It's a capital city of over 3 million people. A lot of people come down here just to relax, get rid of their stress, and chill out with the white clouds, blue sky, and have a swim in the ocean. So, you know, I'm going to put these back where they belong. They built this path actually to take the limestone out. And they built a little rail track on it many, many years ago, and they used to run trains along here. They'd excavate the limestone from here and then cart it back and do their building. Now it's been all pulled up and it's a lovely little sand track. Some remembrance of these, and this is what I'm finding. So I'm heading off. Have a great day. If you get a chance, come down, because it doesn't get much better than this. So if you see me on the track, say hello. Cheerio.